morgen, half a day, and Heckian. How's everyone doing today? As you know, it is Whittle Wednesday, so we normally start later in the day because it takes a minute to get back from the office. But here we are, hopefully, at the end of our journey. For Ace Attorney, Detective. And of course, now my work pings me. What do you want, work? What? Oh. So. Let me just try to explain some of this work stuff issue that I'm having right now. So, God, I'm trying to think how I can talk about this without getting in trouble. There are two teams. One team deals with apples. One team deals with bananas. I'm on the apple team. And the other team is like, hey, this is a banana, but we're going to give it to the apple team. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this? And they're like, treat it like an apple. And I'm like, but it was a banana. Do the banana process. And they're like, well, And I'm just like, So yeah, I'm trying to explain it to them where it's like, so you're giving EDR people more work. Yeah, just yeah, because not only do we do apples, we now do pears. Tell us about the plan that was carried out. What happened to all the music? There we go. I was like, my goodness. I was like, I'm waiting for some music to happen. It's stupid, but I'll talk about it with my boss, because I'm like, why would you send more work to my team when you do the same work? Nice. I have a little bit of rage before the stream, because people be silly. I behold a meep lord on my screen now with the finale of Phoenix Wright Trilogy. Finale indeed. A stupid plan hatched by Morgan Fay to install her own daughter as the next master. But for it to work, Maya Fey would first have to die. The idea was for me to kill Maya and then have the blame pinned on Iris. The plan went wrong, but it seems to have succeeded anyway. Wait, hold on. So were you just gonna possess your sister the whole time? But wait, if you pin the blame on Iris, and you're in her body, unless your mom was gonna, I don't even know, but you're dead. How could you be the leader? I don't know. Wait a minute. Did you just say the plan was to kill Maya Fey? Yes. You have a problem with that? Don't give us that nonsense. There's no way that... Oh. Watch yourself, Trite. If you've got a problem, solve it during cross-examination. That's one of my rules. Mr. Godot is correct. And by the way, that's one of my rules as well. It doesn't make sense. It's like, the plan was to murder her. It's like, cool, got that. And pin Iris. And it's like, wait, hold on. If you're pinning it on her, then who are you gonna possess? But also, you're dead, so how would you run the clan? How long, I'm just like, how long does possession last? Can you do that? Because if that's the case, then wouldn't people just keep channeling the master who died? It'd be like, all right, continue to lead our thing. Yeah, my brain. The whole plan began with my death, which, what a wild sentence. Also, you know what I realized that we didn't do like the last 2 months? I haven't been pressing on everything to see what they say. I've just been like, oh, this one's really weird. And then click and it's like, oh, I usually write and then we move on. But I'm just like, oh, I haven't been pushing on everything. I kind of want to do it again. It's the last one, you know? You were executed last month, correct? Also, this is just a really weird part. I need so much more detail. Yes, I was hanged. Oh, it wasn't exactly pleasant. Oh, God. How did you manage to discuss the plan? When did you talk with Morgan Fay? Last year, she was transferred to the same detention center as me. Since I was on death row and she was my mother, it was actually pretty easy to meet with her. I see. So that's when you discussed the plan. Are you crazy? At first, that woman was planning to kill me as well. Oh. Even though I'm her own daughter. Oh my god. All to make Pearl Fay the master of Curain. She's a cold, twisted woman. She thought she could finally regain her lost honor. The honor she lost when her younger sister, Misty, took her place as the master. Ever since that day, she's been working on this plan. Okay, you have one small misunderstanding. The plan was not to install one of the twins, but to install Pearl. Mia and Dahlia were already eliminated. Maya would be offed, and Iris would be blamed, leaving only Pearl's, Morgan's favorite treasure, to become the leader. Okay, I thought Dahlia was gonna be the leader, and I was like, what? What? But also, how poopy? You're gonna blame your twin who's just like, what's going on? Alright. A stupid plan hatched by Morgan Fay. Yeah, not you. Hold it! Right, Pearl? You're talking about Pearl Fay, is that correct? Yes. Though at first she had high hopes for the two of us. You and your twin sister, Iris. That's correct. Fortunately, neither of us had much spiritual power. Oh, that's why we were abandoned by her. Along with our father. Wait, if you... Well, I guess Iris living at the temple and being near the cave, she would have gotten spiritual power, because I'm like, usually it takes a lot of power to channel somebody. Abandoned. The only person I ever really cared about in life was myself. My sister was a nuisance, so I convinced my father to leave her at an old temple. I thought she got left as a baby. What were you just like, Dada? She gotta go. Dada, no more. Like, how did you convince your father? You mean Iris? Yes, my father remarried a woman who also had a daughter. The less children you have, the more money there is to go around, right? You're not wrong. And on top of that, my father had absolutely no interest in children in general. How horrible. The really horrible one was that woman. That bitter, vengeful woman. It was her stubbornness that gave birth to that child, Pearl Fay. She was born with an abundance of spiritual power, unfortunately for her. Morgan Fay heaped all of her broken hopes and dreams onto that poor child's back. All because of her pathetic dreams of having her bloodline become the main family. But she is the main... Oh, it's crazy. But for it to work, Maya Fay would first have to die. Maya Fay would have to die? But why? For our bloodline to succeed as the main family, thus making Pearl the new master, the remaining descendants of the current master had to be taken care of. But Pearls would never agree to a plan like that. She adores Maya. How sad. You still don't get it, do you? What Pearl wanted had nothing to do with it. Oh. Oh my god. Oh, they don't understand what I'm trying to say. They're just like, yeah, we do this. And I'm just like, you're not understanding it. Your team of bananas is sending bananas to my apple team, which is making us work more when we have enough apples to deal with, and now we have to deal with your bananas. I'm using metaphors because NDAs. They're not getting it. They're not getting it. They're not getting it. It's whatever. I'll just tell my team to turn all the bananas into apples as I secretly treat the bananas as bananas. The only thing she cared about was the position of the master. That's all. That's ridiculous. She was willing to sacrifice anything and anyone to achieve her goal. The life of her daughter, and naturally, the life of Maya Fey as well. How could anyone do that? Like this. Okay. Hold it! You were gonna kill Maya? Pearl didn't need to know anything about it. All she had to do was follow the instructions in the letter and channel me. Then I would have simply used her body and finished the job. You would have used Tiny Pearl? In any case, I'm already dead, and there's nothing any of you can do to me. Wow, this is gonna be a really weird-ass verdict. So the plan was to blame the crime on your younger twin. On Sister Iris of Hazakura Temple. God, it's cold. Wrap up those toesies. She and I look absolutely identical, and no one can tell us apart. If someone were to witness me killing Maya, naturally they would think it was Iris that had done it. And the witness in this case was the head nun, Sister Bikini. I never would have guessed she was going to return to Hazakura Temple that night. But she wound up seeing Iris's crime anyway. But why did you want to pin the murder on Iris in the first place? She's your twin sister, isn't she? Twin sister? Don't make me laugh. She's nothing but a backstabber. I couldn't care less about her. Backstabber? You just don't understand. You never will. Anyway. Hold it! I have so many questions. You think the plan was a success? You heard me. Just as that woman had hoped, Maya Fey is dead. Oh? Now the title of the master will pass on to Pearl Fey. That's absurd. Maya is just... She's just trapped inside the sacred cavern. Really? You're as foolishly optimistic as ever, aren't you? My darling Feeny. Do you want to know the truth? Ever since we met, I've despised you. You've already told me this. This is nothing new. Your sniveling naivety and your pathetic faith in other people. I just want to know one thing. What did you personally think of Morgan Fey's plan? I told you already. Didn't I? It was a stupid plan. It had no point, no value other than fulfilling her own greedy desires. Yes, it was certainly nothing to be proud of. If that's how you feel, why did you help her carry it out? Why would you do it? Why would you kill Maya? You may not understand it, being the kind and gentle soul that you are. You may not be able to appreciate why someone like me would help a woman like that. So then tell me, why? Isn't it obvious? I'm not like that woman. I only act in my own self-interest. But isn't that what Morgan's doing? The reason I helped her was for myself. Okay. For my own personal satisfaction. What did you say? So this woman, Dahlia Hawthorne, she had her own reason for wanting Maya dead? Okay. You understand why I would kill Maya Fey now? What my goal was? Obviously, it's because you were helping Morgan Fey. Helping? Don't make me laugh. From the day I was born to the day I died, I never helped anyone. I lived for myself, and in the end, I died for myself. I thought that was obvious. So she wasn't actually cooperating with Morgan. She was just using Morgan in her plan so she could accomplish her own goal. All I wanted to do was kill Maya Fey. That was the only way I could think of to get revenge. Revenge? Looks like I have no choice but to present that piece of evidence. I can't believe it. She meant to kill Maya. I've got to keep a cool head. And I need to get more information out of her. It's the only way to understand this plan. And what she was after as well. Okay, so we're back at the beginning. understand why I would kill Maya Fey now. What my goal was. What do we got? There. Why I would kill her. Was it to get back at Mia? Are you having like a dead ghost spirit fight in the afterlife? No. Maybe. No, because she knows Mia's dead, right? Yeah, no, she knows Mia's dead, because then she's like, yeah, with elimination of her, Pearl's the leader. I don't know, that's the only thing I can think of, because she put you away.
Objection!
Is it Mia? Could it be that your actual goal had nothing to do with Maya Fey herself? As I said, none of you have the power to punish me anymore, because I'm already dead. Well, I had the same problem, you see. You can't punish the dead, and you can't take revenge against them either. Yeah. I think we're on the right path. You want to take revenge on someone? I was sentenced to die because of that woman, Mia Fey. I somehow knew this was it. I wanted to send her a message. It was at her hands that I suffered my first humiliation. I wanted her to feel the same pain she made me feel. Sadly, when I realized revenge was impossible, I gave up. And the reason it was impossible was perhaps because Mia Fey had already died. Yes, and I realized there's only one way to take revenge against the dead. How do you do that? Even when the body dies, the spirit, the ego, it lives on forever. I wanted to take away the person that Mia Fey loved most. I wanted to kill her with my own hands. Cold. That would be the one and only way I could take my revenge against Mia Fey. That was the reason I helped out with that woman's plan. Just for what? For that you would kill Maya? Your goal was no different than that of Morgan Fey. This is wild. As they say, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Don't talk to me about apples. What a cruel plan. Cruel, cold, and heartless. Don't waste your time preaching to the dead. I've already told you, there's not a thing you can do to me. That night... Oh yeah, what are we gonna do? She's dead. At about 9:30 p.m., I materialized into this world. I quickly pinned my hair up and put on a demon warding hood. Then I picked up the staff that was by my side and left Hazakura Temple. So it was at least Donim who channeled her after all. What? What? Is it okay? That ridiculous head nun never noticed a thing. She left Maya Fey at the inner temple and wobbled back, clutching her poor old back. But what? What did you do then? That kid was easier to handle than I had hoped. I caught up with her in front of the stone lantern. Then I took out the dagger I got from the storeroom. Did she stab Maya? So then you're saying you stabbed Maya? It's strange, but I don't have a clear memory of what happened after that. What does that mean? No clear memory. I don't know. I think I was stabbed. You were stabbed? At the last minute, Maya Fey must have stabbed me. I'm sure of it. It's not like her at all. Why would it stab a French fry with a plastic fork? Anyway, I suddenly lost consciousness. But before I did, I scrawled her name on the lantern. Just as I was passing, I wrote Maya behind my back. I had hoped it would cast suspicions on her. I can't believe she was thinking of that until the bitter end. That's where my memory temporarily stops. It stops? I don't have any memory of actually killing Maya Fey with my own two hands. My very last memory was Maya's terror-filled eyes. When I woke up after that, I was in the sacred cavern surrounded by darkness. You were in the sacred cavern? The entrance was sealed with one of those trick locks. Somehow I'd been trapped in there. But how did you wind up in there? I'd like to know that myself. I'm guessing Maya channeled you while she was in there. Anyway, I was worried. I didn't know whether or not Maya Fey was dead, and I swore I wouldn't return to the underworld until I knew I'd killed her myself. For a ghost, you're one tough cookie. I wanted to get out of there, make sure she was dead. But I couldn't do it. I couldn't get out. The trick lock stopped you, huh? I didn't know how to remove it. So then you're saying you were actually confined against your will inside the sacred cavern. Yes, I wanted to get rid of that annoying lock as soon as possible. But it wasn't easy. I kept getting interrupted while I was working on it. Interrupted? It was early in the morning, but someone came into the training hall. What? Who? Pearl. Could it have been Maya? I thought the same thing, but I couldn't see. Why not? If someone had spotted me, I would have lost my chance to take revenge. So I made sure to hide myself well at the back of the sacred cavern. That morning, only 2 people could have gone into the trade hall. Oh, Maya and Pearls. Pearls were there to cover the hanging scroll and gravy. What a time. Still, I finally managed to remove the lock, but I was too late. What do you mean by that? The flies had already started to gather. The bridge had been fixed and the police had started their investigation, correct? Naturally, I couldn't go out, so instead, I returned to the cavern and put the lock back on myself. I realized I wouldn't get a chance to see Maya's corpse as I had hoped, but just then, Lady Luck showed up. Lady Luck? After that big earthquake, she showed up all by herself. The real Iris. She said she'd come to make sure the sacred cavern was all right. Stupid girl. I came out from the sacred cavern and got a feel for the situation. And I locked her away in my place. I'm so confused. I had finally learned exactly what had happened. It was then that I learned that the plan had actually succeeded. What do you mean your plan had succeeded? I'd misunderstood one thing, you see. That night, the one that had summoned me, I'd assumed that it was Pearl Fey. Well, of course you would have assumed that. It was written in the instructions. But I was wrong. The person that had actually called my spirit back was... Misty Fey, the picture book author. Ooh. Well, that's really the only possibility, isn't it? After I lost consciousness in the garden, it was her body that was left lying there. Maya Fey. I wasn't able to kill her with my own hands after all, but even so, I made her commit the most vile sin a human can commit. And that is matricide, the sin of killing her own mother. Ugh. No way. So confused. It's true that I was the one who attacked Maya Fey, but even so, the murderer who actually snuffed out Misty Fey's life was none other than your darling little Maya! Ridiculous! That's nonsense. Are you sure about that? Just think about it. There's even evidence supporting these facts, isn't there? What? What do you mean? What is this so-called evidence? The fact that Maya Fey has disappeared is evidence enough, isn't it? Huh? The idea that she's still in the secret cavern is just ridiculous. She wasn't able to escape from the inner temple, that much is obvious. In that case, there's only one place she could be. Where? Do I have to spell it out? The bottom of the Eagle River, where else? Sleepy brain. Oh, you think suicide? You crazy, Dahlia, you crazy. So, what do you have to say now, Feeny? Oh. Whose phone is this? That's not my phone, is it? Is this Godot's phone? Iris's phone? Sorry, that's my phone. Oh, let's listen. What kind of ringtone is that? Godot here. Okay, thanks. Was it something important? They just finished removing the locks from the sacred cavern. That's great. What about Maya? There was a woman in the cave. Was it Maya? It was the accused, Sister Iris. Hold on. I thought she was possessing Iris. Cause when they possess you, you look like them. So would her hair not be red? Oh my god, okay. Okay. Wait. Wait. Huh? Don't look so surprised. I locked her in there yesterday. I just finished telling you that. So what about Maya? Where is she? There was no one else found inside the sacred cavern. Oh, it can't be. I told you, didn't I? She's dead. Buddy, think about it. She has to be channeled into somebody right now. It's not Pearl. It's not Iris. It's not Misty. Mia's dead. So I think this is still Maya. It seems that this case has come to an end. A tragic end. Sadly, it appears the killer of Elise Nim, also known as Misty Faye, was her own daughter, Maya Faye. Overcome with guilt for what she had done, Maya Faye jumped to her death in the raging waters of Eagle River. No. Ha. Yeah, buddy. We're gonna ha this away. Try. Have you ever heard this one? Once you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth. God, why is it so cold? Why is it that when the human body gets so cold, you're just like, ha, sleepy, yawn? I was awake with rage and now I'm getting all cozy. No matter how improbable it may seem. What is that supposed to mean, Prosecutor Godot? According to this witness, Maya Faye threw herself in the Eagle River. Malarkey. However, is that really the truth? Remember, this woman testified earlier that the bridge was already on fire when the murder was taking place in the garden. Which means if Maya had thrown herself into the river, it must have been from the inner temple side near the bridge. That's right. That's where she jumped from. Now you're Maya. But that's impossible. It's impossible to jump into the river from there, right? Because of the rocks. Don't get your panties all twisted up, Trite. Just relax and think through the whole thing again. So it's impossible. Maya couldn't have thrown herself into the Eagle River? Yeah, pull up the map. Well, Mr. Wright, Miss Hawthorne claims Miss Faye threw herself into the river from the inner temple side. Do you have any evidence that refutes this claim? Yeah, where's my... Yeah, the map. We've been over this. Take that! It's impossible to jump into the Eagle River from the inner temple side. No one knows that better than this witness. What did you say? 11 years ago, you jumped into the very same river. Just take a look at this overhead map. Rocks. Rocks. As you can see, below the cliff on the inner temple side is a big rock shelf. Oh. Oh. You're right. She wouldn't have reached the river if she had jumped off from there. Unless you're gonna say she swung there. In other words, if she had jumped, we'd be able to see her body in this photo. So you finally figured it out. Order? You're just playing with me. Maya Faye's body's at the bottom of the Eagle River. There's nowhere else she could possibly be hiding. Miss Hawthorne, have you ever heard this one before? Once you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth. Yes, just a few minutes ago. Maya Faye wasn't inside the sacred cavern. We now know that she didn't throw herself into the Eagle River. Correct. That eliminates all the most likely possibilities. Now, although it seems improbable, there's still one other place she could be. What is this one possibility you're talking about? That's obviously a bluff. So where is her dead body then? Not dead. Finally, I think the pieces are falling into place. Normally the living have no way to punish the dead. But I think there's a way to give Dahlia Hawthorne the ultimate punishment. Shall I tell you, Miss Hawthorne? Shall I tell you where Maya is this very instant? Maya Fey is in this very courtroom. There's only one possibility left, namely, she's right here in this very courtroom. What? Maya Fey is here? Did you say she's here in my courtroom? Dahlia Hawthorne, I seem to recall that you said I had misunderstood one thing, you see. So what? But I think there's one more thing you misunderstood. What do you mean? Tell me something. At this very moment, who is channeling Dahlia Hawthorne? Why, that's obvious. It's Pearl Fey, that pathetic little sniveling runt. You're wrong. Pearl's tried, but she couldn't do it. I've never failed at channeling someone. This is the first time it's happened. Right, we've been over this explanation. She's like, it's so weird. Someone called me before Pearl did? But who? Pearl's even tried again on the day after the crime, but she couldn't do it. What could that mean? I think the truth is becoming clearer to you right about now, am I correct? It wasn't Pearls that channeled you. It was someone who called you before she could. Freaking Maya. This is an easy one. Pearls couldn't do it, and Misty Fey is gone. There's only one possibility left. Come on already. I can't stand the tension. Dahlia Hawthorne, the person channeling you right now must be Maya Fey. What? But how could that be? Remember what this witness Dahlia Hawthorne said about her goal? She said that her goal was to kill Maya Fey. Yes, that's right. But if Maya channeled the spirit of someone that was trying to kill her... Well, Gramps, what would happen? Could it be? It looks like you finally understand, Your Honor. Well, I don't. What are you going on about? What I'm going on about is the reason Maya channeled you. There's only one reason. To protect herself from you. That's... Oh no, a ghost is coming after me. Quickly, I'll channel them into my own body. I mean, that makes sense, I guess. Yes. On the night of the crime, you were the only interested in one thing. Killing Maya Fey. Wait, hold on. But if she was possessing someone else, right? And she's about to stab Maya, how did Maya channel her? Because they say that you can't channel someone who's already being channeled. You better explain this. The path back to Hazakura was closed off, and there was nowhere for her to run. So the problem became, where would be the safest place to hide? You mean, that's when she channeled me? All this time you thought you had been channeled by Pearls. That's why it never occurred to you that Maya's hiding place was you. Wild. Don't say that. This... Right, I was like, what's stopping Dahlia from just going, you know, was played for a fool by that little whelp? Maya Fey killed herself. Isn't it obvious? Well, she's about to. I mean, you could just do it. Sorry, but no, it would have been impossible for her to jump into the Eagle River. This was the only avenue of escape open to Maya. The only way that Maya could disappear from the inner temple. I don't believe you. A stupid little girl like that who has never been out in the real world, she could never have come up with a plan like that. Who could have ever given her such a brilliant idea? Probably her mom. Well, me, of course. Oh! Wait, Pearls is here? The whole... You're telling me Pearls was here the whole time in my little defense box, and Dahlia Hawthorne never saw the little buns and was like, wait a minute, is that Pearls over there? That is one way to go, but I mean, she could also just slam her own head against the little podium she's at. You know, it's not her body. So just, you know, brain damage. Maya Fey. Mia, god dang it. It's been a long time, Dahlia Hawthorne. I'm surprised you didn't notice me over here. So it's true. It was you. Yes. There's something else. Well, what are you doing here? That hair. It's pearls, right? Tell me something, Dahlia. I want you to think back to that night one more time. You had just cornered Maya in the inner temple's garden. And then, in the final moments of the fight, you lost consciousness. Okay, because Misty was stabbed by Maya Fey. Actually, Maya lost consciousness at the same time as you. She did? Not terribly surprising since she was about to be killed. When she woke up, she was at the trading hall. That's when Maya decided she needed help, so she channeled me. She explained in a memo the situation she was in. I'm sorry, she explained in a memo? Sitting in a cave, just woke up from being passed out, bridge is burning. Hey sis, when you read this memo, I'm gonna point out some things real quick. I think Iris was channeling Dahlia, who I think is a twin, but somebody was like, what? What? Where did you have the time to write a memo? Bridge on fire, need help, getting murdered. She did that, I can't believe it. Of course, I didn't have all the details, but one thing was perfectly clear, and that was, I knew that you couldn't be allowed to wander free. It was a race against time, so I wrote down 2 things that Maya had to do. Channel Dahlia Hawthorne as soon as possible, and lock herself in the sacred cavern until help arrived. So it was Maya who put that lock on there. Yes, but why did you order her to do those 2 things? If she hadn't done it, Dahlia Hawthorne would have been channeled by someone else. Our one Pearl Faye. Pearls. Yes, Pearl didn't properly understand the plan, so all she was trying to do was follow her mother, Morgan Faye's instructions. If she succeeded in channeling Dahlia Hawthorne's spirit, things would have turned out very badly, to put it mildly. So that's how it was. Dahlia Hawthorne would have used the body of Pearl Faye to kill Maya at all costs. Yes, it certainly sounds like that was the intent all along. How dare you? I won't forget this. Why not just admit it, Dahlia Hawthorne? Your little plan was nothing but a big failure. So Misty channeled Dahlia. Dahlia goes to kill Maya. They both pass out. Iris sees stabbed Misty, shucks her across while Dahlia is in Maya. Oh. Another failure to add to the pile of shame, wouldn't you say? What do you mean by another? Think about it, Dahlia. Remember all your past crimes? Not a single one of them was a success. They all ended in failure. What? How dare you? 11 years ago? The fake kidnapping, your very first crime. You got your hands on a $2 million diamond, but... After Terry Falls escaped and went to meet with Valier Hawthorne, the truth was exposed. Shut your mouth, that wasn't my fault. It was because of that stupid oaf of a prisoner and that weakling of a policewoman. And then, 1 year later, you tried to kill me. Well, I'm still alive, but... Yeah, you killed someone else. You wound up killing someone else. As a result, you were sentenced to death. Phew. It's one stupid move after another for you, but it's no longer funny. You wipe that smug, happy-go-lucky smile off your face. And now this, you messed up again. You let Maya Fey escape, even though she was right there in front of you. Oh. You spinster. I was supposed to kill Maya Fey like I swore I would. And if only you had gotten this spiky-haired jerk the guilty verdict, I wouldn't have been hanged to death. True. But I think you finally understand, Dahlia Hawthorne. You will never defeat me. What'd you say? Whether you're alive, dead, or somewhere in between, you will never defeat me. As long as I'm around, you're destined to lose for all of eternity. Damn. I remember what you said earlier in the trial. You said there was no way we could punish you, because you were already dead. What about it? Then you said, even when the body dies, the spirit, the ego, lives on forever. It's very true, Dahlia. And that's exactly the punishment you'll never be able to escape from. For all of eternity, you'll have to remain as Dahlia Hawthorne, a miserable, pathetic, weak creature who could never win at anything. And for you, there is no escape from that, no hope of freedom. Since the day you were executed, the narrow bridge that once stretched out in front of you is burned to a crisp. Damn. You're wrong? It can't be? How could I lose to the likes of you? It no longer matters. I don't care whether you win or lose anymore. The only thing I want is for you to come out of Miles' body right now. Be gone, spirit! I'm not ready. Not ready to go. Oh. Can you imagine being the judge and seeing this? I'm just like, yep, that's enough cases for me. I'm going on vacation. What up, Maya? So are we done? Hey girl, hey. Have you eaten at all? It's been like a couple days, right? Right? Judge needs like 8 vacations after this franchise. Exactly right. He's just like, well. Now then, I assume you are the real Iris? Yes, I was just rescued from the Sacred Cavern. Hello. That's not good. Are indeed identical from what I can see. Oh my god. In any case, it appears that everything has finally been cleared up. Mr. Godot, what happened to Dahlia Hawthorne? If you ask me, Your Honor, it looks like she went back to the hell she came from. It seems that Misty Faye wasn't the only victim of this crime. Maya Faye, as well as young Pearl Faye, were also victims of this wicked and selfish plan. Yes, Your Honor. The tragedy of Medium Valley has finally come to an end, it seems. Right, please? It'd be best for everyone if no further attempt was made to channel that spirit again. Your Honor? Yes, what is it? About this whole spirit medium thing, it's almost weird how comfortable you seem to be with the concept now. Well, to be frank, my younger brother is quite judgmental. He often criticizes me for not studying hard enough. That's why I made a concerted effort to study up on the Curane channeling technique. Hey, isn't that the new issues of Occult? I've seen quite a few things in my many years on the bench, and in all that time, I finally learned this one thing. Each case is different and takes place in its own world, if you will. In order to fully understand that world, first we have to immerse ourselves in it completely. And that's where my brother and I used to differ. Never thought of it that way. At any rate, it's time to pass judgment in the case of Iris Hazakura Temple.
Objection!
Oh no. Godot, no. Let her be. You're a little too fast with that gavel, Your Honor. What do you mean by that, Mr. Godot? This trial. It isn't over yet. That's what he means. What? Right. Remember what Miss Evil Spirit said in her testimony? Huh? Dahlia's testimony. I caught up with her in front of the stone lantern. Then I took out the dagger I got from the storeroom and stabbed her. It's strange, but I don't have a clear memory of what happened after that. I think I was stabbed. Just as Dahlia Hawthorne was about to attack Maya, she was stabbed and killed by someone. Yes, that's right. The person that was ultimately killed was the spirit medium that channeled Dahlia. At least, don't him. No, Misty Faye. But who killed her? We still don't know who did it. Oh, Iris? Unless someone else is found guilty, the accused is still on trial. We can't let her walk until there's evidence that proves her innocence. No way. But this court isn't prepared for any further testimony. Prosecution is ready to call our final witness. Final witness? This one will clear up the whole mystery. The mystery of who killed Misty Faye. Okay. Is it really alright, Mr. Prosecutor? Of course it's alright. Madam Attorney. Oh. Very well then. Who is this final witness? Isn't it obvious? There's one person who saw the whole event and will put the final dagger in this case. Someone who saw the murder take place? The very person who saw her mother killed in front of her own eyes. Maya. You mean Maya? She can't testify after what she just been through. We need to find the truth. The prosecution calls Maya Faye to the witness stand. Is she good though? I thought Maya got stabbed. But first, we'll take a brief recess. We'll have to wait for Miss Faye to recover before summoning her. Once we receive the doctor's permission, we'll proceed to the trial. Hey, Tri, I've got something to say to you, so listen up. What is it? I don't think much of you as a lawyer. It's always the same with you. You somehow manage to just squeak by without even a faint understanding of the case. Some beautiful woman always seems to come dashing in at the last minute to save you. You've got some nerve. But that's not gonna happen this time. This time, you're gonna have to do this by yourself. That's enough. This court is now in recess. Thanks, Judge. It's fine, Iris. Truly sorry about everything. You were working so hard to defend me, but I was missing all day and we didn't even have a chance to talk. She's right, yeah. When I met Iris at the train hall yesterday, they had already switched places, and Iris was inside the sacred cavern. I wanted to at least be in the defendant's box today to root you on. Well, it wasn't your fault. You were locked up this whole time. There's something more important than that, though. I have to ask you. Why did you help your sister out as much as you did? If you had tried to get help at the sacred cavern yesterday, you wouldn't have spent an entire day locked up in there. My sister, I felt sorry for her. She was abandoned by her mother and never got any love from her father either. Yes, but it was the same for you too, wasn't it? Yes, but at least I had Sister Bikini, who was like a mother to me. If only Dahlia had come with me to Hazakura Temple. So many questions. I always loved her. Dahlia was always so smart, so strong. She never complained about a thing. That's why I promised her that I would help her. Are you talking about the fake kidnapping case 11 years ago? Yes. I wanted to be useful to her in some way. Would you, like, set up a net for her? Like, so that way when she swims down the river, you just, like, catch her in a net? But as usual, I was too cowardly. At the last minute, I ran away. Because of that, Dahlia's stepsister, Valerie, ended up... That was the case that wounded Mia so badly. My bro was like, I'm just gonna die. But things didn't end there, of course. Some people suspected that my sister was involved in the murder. Some people, you must mean, yes, 2 defense attorneys, Mia Faye and Diego Armando. After poisoning Mr. Armando, who was getting too close to learning the truth, Dahlia even tried to kill the person who had unknowingly hid the poison for her. Wait! Hold on! Her sister was a witch! Sorry. So Dahlia poisoned Diego. But he didn't die, but they said he died, but I guess he didn't die. Why are his eyes messed up? Maybe she, like, splashed the poison in his face. That's right. Wait. Wasn't Mia dating him? Wasn't she like it was her boyfriend or something? Oh, that must be why they're so with each other. There's one more thing that I have to ask you. Yes, what is it? On the night of the murder, the person that cleaned up the corpse of the victim, Elise Donim, was it really you? Yes, it was me. That night after I rang the lights out bell, I went back to my room. At around 10:30, I received a call on my cell phone. There's a problem. Come to the inner temple right away. I got on the snowmobile and headed for the inner temple, but The path to the inner temple was cut off, right? Exactly. I'm gonna toss the body to you. We can't just leave the body here. So you've got to do this exactly as I say. Got it? Yep. It was me. I was the one that received her body. The murder weapon had been left in her body so she wouldn't bleed out too much. The staff that Mystic Elise always held. I knew it. So the actual murder weapon was the staff. Yes, that's right. I brought the body back to Hazakura Temple on the snowmobile. Meow. And then was like, I'm gonna set this up. Well, why? Why did you alter the body? I didn't want anyone to know that the staff was the murder weapon. I didn't want to leave anything that would lead back to Misty Faye. So I dressed her in a robe and stabbed her with the chichichito. I wiped the blood off the staff's blade and left it next to her on the ground. Iris, just tell me one last thing. Tell me the name of the person that called your cell phone, the real killer. I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. I can't do it. I can't say who did it. Wait, okay. Wait. Wait, so who did it? Defendant. The judge is calling you. He wants to see you in his chambers. He has some questions about Dahlia Hawthorne. Alright. Well then, I'll see you later. Something I want to tell you. Okay. Put away those blushing cheeks. So it's true. I was cooperated with the killer, maybe even from the very beginning. It's either... I'm like, Sister Bikini, but I'm like, I don't know. I don't think it's her. But like, the body... But Dahlia was possessing Maya, but somebody else stabbed her because Maya was facing her. Was it pearls? I don't know. I don't know, man. But emotionally, she's been hurt very badly by this case, unless it was like some other person. I see. You don't mean she learned who Elise Stonium really was? Yes, I went to the medical office to talk with her. I told her everything I knew. But why? Maya is stronger than you think. I knew she could take it. All of it. What do you mean by that? I want you to figure that answer out by yourself. The trial is about to restart. The real killer. Do you know who it is yet? Iris wouldn't tell me who called her, but still. I think that just maybe I know who it is. That night, the victim was killed in the garden of the inner temple, and the criminal wasn't just there by accident. Which means, the killer knew of Dahlia's plan from the very beginning. And one more thing, was it Morgan? Oh, she's in jail, right? The victim was moved to the Hazakura Temple site by pendulum. In other words, the criminal couldn't cross the bridge. That means they were stuck on the inner temple site for almost an entire day. Exactly, so the culprit was someone that wasn't in Hazakura Temple the following day. That's as much as I can give you. The rest of the battle is yours to win. Or lose. Okay, I've got it. Thank you, Mia. Finally, it's almost time to bring this case to an end. What exactly did Maya see anyway? And who was it that actually killed Misty Faye? Whoever it was, I have to prove it. Me, all by myself. Okay. To be continued. Oh, there's more. So I'm guessing this is gonna be like the last part. Okay, so I was good to stop there yesterday, because that whole section took an hour. Alright, last part. Let's do this. I just can't get comfy. Now then, before we proceed any further, I'm going to announce the results of the tests we had performed earlier. Tests? What tests? Yes. Tests on the bloody dagger that was found stuck in the pine tree. Oh yeah, that test. Oh yeah, that. Totally forgot about it. That's the weapon that Maya Faye used when she fought with the victim. So what are the results? Was it the victim's blood, or due to time constraints, a full test wasn't possible? However, there's one thing we can say with certainty. The blood that was on this dagger was not the victim's blood. Okay. That That is all. Now then, let's restart this trial. So it wasn't Misty's blood on the dagger. Then whose was it? Maybe the killer? Who done it? That is the real question. Also, this somebody else must have known of Morgan's plan. Ready for the ultimate final battle. Who else could have known about Morgan's plan? Because there's Dahlia, there's Pearl, there's Iris, and then Morgan herself. And I'm just like, I don't know. But we do know that Pearl said that someone had read it. So, somebody found it and read it. I'm sure both the defense and the prosecution know this. Alright, bye! This trial is rapidly coming to a close. Both sides will need to show some firm evidence with their claims. I understand, Your Honor. From what I've heard, the witness is dangerously weak, physically speaking, so let's finish this quickly. Okay, so maybe this won't take too long. Agreed. Very well, please bring in the last witness. Hey, Ma, how you doing? I see you got your different acolyte outfit. Witness, please tell us your name and profession. Maya Fey. My profession is... I'm the assistant manager at Wright & Co. law offices. Oh, she does not want to be a spirit medium right now. According to the magazine I have here, you're a spirit medium of the Cure Range channeling technique. I'm frightened. The Fey clan, I don't want any more to do with it. Oh, Maya. The pain the Fey bloodline causes must be unbearable. Very well. Now then, Miss Fey. When the event occurred, you were in the Guardian of the Inner Temple, and you witnessed the moment of Miss Elise Donim's murder. Is this correct? I didn't see... Oh. Straighten up this instant, young lady. Pick your head up and speak clearly. There's always time for crying later. But your mother was killed right in front of your eyes. There's nothing you can do to change that fact. But there's something you can do. You can finish this. You've been watching the whole thing, right? You've seen the witnesses come out and you've seen us squeeze the truth out of them. Now it's your turn. Let's hear your testimony. On the night of the crime, what exactly did you see happen? Witness, if you please. Yes, Your Honor. You got this, Maya. You got this, Queen. At the Inner Temple. I was passing through the garden on the way to a spare prep room when it happened. Suddenly, someone struck me over the head. I stumbled and ended up against the stone lantern. I think I screamed, "Help me." Then something warm splashed over me. That's when I lost consciousness. Something warm splashed over you? So you were struck on the head. Suppose it must have been the staff. Maya, the person who hit you, it was Dahlia Hawthorne, wasn't it? I'm sorry, Nick. I couldn't see. I don't know who it was. Maya, think hard. Sorry, but I really couldn't. Can't say it was an especially good night for young ladies to be walking around alone. It seems it'll be hard to determine the criminal through testimony alone. Very well then, Mr. Wright. Please begin your cross-examination. She doesn't look well at all. We'll go through this fast, Maya. There was no mention of help in the other testimonies, but that could have just been Dahlia, but that might be something. Hold it! You think you screamed, but you're not sure? Listen, I was a complete wreck. It was dark and I couldn't see my attacker. Was it a man, a woman, an adult, a child? I had no idea. I was scared out of my wits. Believe me, my dear, I'm certain I would have soiled my robes. I thought this person might attack me, so I... Anyway, I'm pretty sure I screamed. I thought that it was my last hope. Wow, sounds like poor little Maya really was out of her mind. But I wonder what she meant by last hope. What do? Do I press her for more details? What did she scream? Wait and see. I'm gonna say last hope. Wait a minute, Maya. What's this my last hope stuff? What? What do you mean by last? No, that's what you said. You said my last hope. Huh? What? I said what? Oh my god. Look, you were facing an attacker that you couldn't see and you screamed, right? You screamed, "Help me." Yeah? But you testified that you screamed that because you thought it was your last hope. Oh, well, you know, that's like what you do. That's what do you call it when that happens? Maya's not doing so well up there. Oh yeah, oh, that's right. I remember now. I was facing my attacker, but that's not who I was screaming at. What did you just say? Yeah, that's right. It was the person behind my attacker that I was yelling at. That's who I was screaming to for help. What is it now? I messed up. I didn't I didn't mean to let that slip out. Witness, are you absolutely sure of what you're saying? Behind the attacker, there was another person? Well, I meant to keep that part a secret. What have I done? It takes a ton of pressure to make a diamond. That's what I always say. A ton of pressure. You're in a court of law here. You can't make things up or try to hide things in this chamber. Witness, the information you just presented is vital to the case. I want you to add it to your testimony. I could see a man behind my attacker by the light of the stone lantern. Oh, I thought the stone lantern wasn't good enough. A man? Who was this man? Well, you see, I couldn't see. She uses excuse twice now. Well, you know, lantern light isn't very bright. Lantern light, did you say? There's a great big stone lantern in the garden. I always light it when an acolyte is there for training. I thought we had the meeting where you could see. Hey, you know what they say, under the lantern, darkness reigns. So I could see the person that was further away, but not my attacker who was closer. Plus, there weren't any other light sources in the garden at this time. Okay, so you could see him. Hold on. So you could see. Objection! So there was a man standing behind your attacker. Yeah. That man, he's the killer. He stabbed her from behind. He's the one who killed Elise Donim, otherwise known as Misty Faye, your mother. The killer? Maya, you know who killed your mother, don't you? What does it mean in this, Mr. Wright? To be frank, Your Honor, I think she's in shock and quite confused. That's why she hasn't noticed the huge problem with her testimony. Huh? What do you mean? What problem? Maya, on the night of the crime, that stone lantern was out of commission. Oh, was it busted? Huh? What? Oh, it was busted. Wait, then how did you see? There was no light anywhere in the garden that night. No. Damn it, Maya. Order in the court. Mr. Godot, explain this. Add the pureness of milk to the perfect clear darkness of coffee. Stir. That is the state of the witness's mind right now. A cup of cafe au lait. Cafe au lait? Is that even legal? Mr. Tright's words are the milk and you are the spoon. Your Honor. I'm a spoon? I'm no spoony bard, I'll have you know. You must have noticed too, Trite. This witness's mental state is highly unstable right now. It's not hard to understand why she'd make a little mistake like that. Sorry, but that's not gonna cut it. What did you say? If there truly was no light in the garden, then there's a fatal contradiction in the witness's last bit of testimony. May I? Recall the witness's statement about her attacker. She said that she didn't know if it was a man or a woman, an adult or a child. And yet, the witness could describe a person that was standing behind her attacker. And she quite clearly described him as a man. In other words, that would have to mean that Maya actually saw our mystery person, despite it being so dark that she couldn't see the face of her own attacker. Man. What in the world does this all mean, Mr. Wright? Are you saying Miss Faye saw the real killer under pitch black conditions? Trite, do you have any idea what you're proposing? How could she have seen in the dark? There was no other light source at the scene. There are some things that you can only see in the dark, Mr. Godot. No. Maya, you did see who the killer was in the dark, and now you're trying to cover for him. For the man that killed her mother? There's only one conclusion I can draw from this. You know who this man is. Please, Dick. I don't know anything. Please, I'm begging you. You talk a good game, try it, but let's see if you can walk the walk. It was pitch black, so what could the witness see? I'm calling your bluff. No, Nick, don't. Please. There's no way. Maya's dead set on protecting this guy, the man who murdered Maya's long-lost mother, but I can't let him get away with it. I'm a lawyer, an officer of the court. I'm here to find the truth. All right, Mr. Wright, time to show us what you've got. Who was this person that you say Miss Faye saw in the darkness? Okay, well, they said a man, right? So, it's either Godot, Gumshoe, glorious miles. But they specifically said they could see something in the dark. And we had that whole thing where it was pitch black and we saw the zzz. Was it good though? Take that! Was it good though? Because it was pitch black, Miss Faye was able to recognize the killer easily. I'm sure the court would like to see for itself how this is possible, yes? What? But how do you propose to show us something like that? It's easy. We just need to recreate the conditions of that night. Conditions? Your Honor, the defense officially requests that all the lights in this courtroom be turned off. What? Well, it can't be. Huh. Oh my god. That was a nice bit of deduction. Trite. Well, everyone, this is the man Maya saw on the night of the murder. He was there. Like, we did see him on that side, but I thought it was more of like, oh, he came with the rest of the police. Prosecutor Godot, what is the meaning of this? Surely you must be shocked to hear yourself accused of such a thing. Why aren't you denying it? This must suck. Your Honor, you're asking the wrong person. What do you mean by that? If you got a question, ask the witness. That's one of my rules. Well, Maya, how about it? What you saw that night? Was it 3 glowing red lights? Well, witness, answer the question. You're wrong. I never saw that. Maya. I thought the person that stabbed my mother was a man for a totally different reason. What? What? Witness, Mr. Wright. Stop your chattering, Your Honor. Chattering? If it's worth asking, ask the witness. That's one of my rules. All right. Well then, let's continue with the testimony. Please tell us how you knew the killer was a man. I didn't realize it until after I woke up, but... Okay. When I came to, I was just lying there on the training hall floor. By the time I got back to the garden, the place had totally changed. The torches were lit, and the body was gone, and all the snow around the stone lantern had been carefully cleaned up too. Since the person who did all that work alone, I just assumed it was a man. So it was after the crime took place that the witness came to think the killer was a man. Yes, that's right. I'm sorry, Your Honor. No need to apologize. As Mr. Goded said, you're utterly exhausted. It's only natural that you would be a little confused. Also, if you can consider the situation you described, it doesn't seem too much of a stretch to assume the culprit was a man. Mr. Wright, proceed with your cross-examination. All right, girl, what do we got? Torches were lit? Yes. That's how I noticed that the whole scene had changed, but the snow... I'm gonna say it was the killer who lit the torches. I mean, who else could it be? The killer probably lit them since it'd be impossible to do any cover-up work in the dark. However, if that's true, there's one thing that still bothers me. Why did the killer go to the effort of moving the body? That's true. It's hard to see how that would be of any advantage to the killer. The only one who'd gain anything from that would be the only person that was at the inner temple, Maya. Very well, let me hear some more about the condition of the crime scene. The whole snow around the stone lantern had been carefully cleaned up. Hold it! So you're saying the killer cleaned up the snow. It did look really odd. It did. It was perfect square. The snow was removed in an unnatural looking rectangle shape around the lantern. There were a lot of shovels around the inner temple, but they're all really heavy, way too heavy for me to use. An odd fellow indeed, this killer. Why on earth would anyone want to take snow away? Well, there's one thing I can think of. Didn't you say that a lot of the victim's blood sprayed onto the snow? Yeah? The area collapsed and ended up being splattered. In other words, the killer's purpose was to hide the bloody snow. I think that's the most reasonable explanation. Perhaps. However, there's something that's bothering me. If the killer just wanted to hide the snow with blood on it, there was no need to remove that amount. That's true. You could have scooped up just the snow that was stained with blood. Looks like there are some mysteries behind this issue, but I think this will help explain them. Since the person did all that work alone, I just assumed it was a man. Went through a lot of trouble, moving the body by pendulum, manipulating the crime scene. Maybe this? Naturally, the killer must have done it, right? Yes, I think so. But why would the killer tamper with the crime scene? There must have been something that the killer desperately wanted to hide. Oh. The truth is, when I saw the crime scene, I felt something. You did? Yes. I felt like the killer was hiding the evidence for me, for my sake. What? Hiding it for you? Everyone knew that I was the only one at the inner temple that night. If Sister Bikini had come back and looked at the garden, she may have thought that you had done it. No, she definitely would have thought so. And you're saying that's why the killer cleaned up the crime scene to make it look like nothing had happened. Yes, I'm sure of it. Well, that's certainly an important piece of information. I want you to add that to your testimony. Yes, Your Honor. Well, he didn't clean it up all the way. He left that. The body of Elise Donin was carried all the way to Hazakura's temple courtyard. Then at the garden, the real scene of the crime, the snow that we suspected was covered in blood was scooped up and removed. It's reasonable to believe all of this was done in an attempt to hide the true crime scene. However, there's still one matter that seems somewhat odd. And what would that be? You must have figured it out by now, Mr. Godot. It's the message written in blood on the lantern. It was written very clearly on the white stone lantern, but he couldn't see it. It is Godot. If the killer was so motivated to protect Maya from suspicion, then why didn't they wipe the writing off the lantern? You're right. But Mr. Wright, isn't it a fact that the killer was trying to cover up the crime scene? Indeed, but it doesn't make much sense to move the body and remove the bloody snow, and then not wipe off the most incriminating thing of all, the bloody writing. But if that's the case, do you have any explanation for the killer's mysterious behavior? Why would this killer move the body, remove all that snow, but then leave the bloody writing on the lantern? I don't know what the killer's plan was, but it's a fact that the killer left the writing on the lantern. There must be a reason for it. Well then, Mr. Wright, let's hear your opinion. Why did the killer leave the message written in the blood on the lantern? The killer didn't notice it. Prosecutor Godot, earlier in this trial, you gave me some good advice. Once you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth. Maybe you're not as dumb as I thought. The real killer wanted to disguise the fact that a crime had occurred there. If that's the case, they wouldn't have left the bloody writing on the stone lantern on purpose. Therefore, it must mean that they didn't notice it. But that doesn't make any sense. The torches were all lit and everything. There's no way any normal person would miss something as glaring as that. You're right. There's no way any normal person would. What are you trying to say, Mr. Wright? There's only one person involved in this incident who could have missed seeing the bloody writing altogether. And who would that be? Who is the person that could have failed to notice the bloody writing? Godot. Take that! Mr. Godot, this is what you said yesterday. My eyesight is pretty messed up. Yeah. He's like, I can't see nothing. You can't see everything? Is that correct, Mr. Godot? This lantern was submitted as evidence today. I would like the court to think back to the moment it was first presented. Oh, he's like, this lantern, there's something on it. It's written in blood. Nonsense. This lantern's clean as a whistle. Mr. Godot, just admit it. There are certain colors you can't see. Correct? You can't see red on a white background, can you? That's right. We went through this once before, during the poisoning case at Tres Bien. This is the apron that Delighted Miss Beard was wearing at the time, and somehow spilled coffee on it. There's something still bothering Mr. Godot. Why have you not explained the bloodstain to the court? Bloodstain? What bloodstain? Yeah, remember this. You could see the coffee on the white apron, but you couldn't see the ketchup because it was red. Ah, it's strange. In a black and white photo, those letters would have appeared black to me. I wonder, why am I the only one that can't see them? So then, Mr. Godot, are you admitting it? Are you admitting that you can't see the red writing on the lantern? Hey, Gramps, didn't you know? That's the reason why I don't drink red tea. Red tea? I wasn't sure about it until now, but I just can't believe it. Prosecutor Godot is the murderer. There's no going back now. I finally figured out the truth. Wild. Mr. Godot, the defense at this time formally accuses you. You are the murderer of Miss Elise Donen, also known as Miss Misty Fate. It's hard to believe this may be true. However, once again, Mr. Wright has brought up a disquieting fact about you. Ha. Just make sure you don't fill out the indictment in red ink, Gramps. Come on. How does a little graffiti make me into the killer? Besides, it's not like it's my name that's written there. I'm certain that the killer wasn't able to see the color red. This is Rich. Do go on, Trey. The answer is right there at the crime scene. In the snow. The snow? How so? Well, for example, why did the killer move all that snow? Your Honor, you said it yourself. If he wanted to hide the bloody snow, why not take out just that area? Yes, why didn't he take just that area? Could it be? Yes, the killer couldn't see the red blood that had seeped into the snow, and so he had to remove all of the snow. He couldn't be sure of where the blood had landed, so he removed the whole area. Isn't it more likely that the killer couldn't see the blood because it was dark? Not a chance. The torches were all lit. He would have been able to see just fine. It seems that once again, this trial has taken an unexpected turn, to say the least. Can you explain this, Mr. Godot? Oh. Maya. What is it, witness? Mr. Godot isn't the killer. After all, he didn't even come to the inner temple until 2 days after the murder took place. He didn't show up until after that old bridge got fixed up. Maya. You can't testify to something like that. Why? What do you mean? I may not look it, but I'm... After the murder happened, you didn't even exist. She didn't? I'm afraid I don't follow. Are you senile, old man? We established this just a little while ago. After the murder, this witness was unconscious for a long time. Because she was channeling Dahlia Hawthorne. Oh, that's right. Please, Your Honor, let me add to my testimony. Maya, do you plan to cover for Godot no matter what the cost? If that's the case, then I've got no choice. Your Honor, let's hear her testimony. If it means we're going to hear the whole truth, I say we should not silence her. Nicely done, Trey. Very well, let's hear the witness's testimony. Please tell us what happened at the inner temple after the murder. Yes, sir. After I woke up, I began channeling, and my spirit left me, as it were. But little Pearlie was there at the inner temple, too. After the incident. Pearlie was also stuck on the inner temple side that night. The next morning, she looked around but couldn't find anyone. The next day, when the bridge was finally fixed, she was in the spare prep room. That's when Mr. Godot arrived at the inner temple for the first time. He found Pearlie first and cheered her right up. Who is this Pearlie? That's my little cousin, Pearl Faye. So when did you hear about this? Oh, just a while ago when I was in the medical office. Terribly sorry. Well, what you heard from someone else is simply not admissible as testimony. Come on, Pearlie would never tell a lie. She's a way more honest person than I'll ever be. Sorry, I got another notification from work. What is this? Right? Right? Uh-huh. Okay. I don't know why they're restating the obvious. Is it raining? No, it's just the wind. Okay. The prosecution has no objection. We believe the witness. Mr. Godot, let's just move on to the cross-examination, if the defense has no objections. This is highly unusual, but well, Mr. Wright, let's get this cross-examination started. Blanket. All right, after the incident, the last line kind of has me. Hold it! He cheered her up? That's what Pearlie said. She said he was a very nice older gentleman. Thank you for looking after my cousin, Mr. Godot. And here I was thinking you were nothing more than a coffee addict. Get it out. You're making me blush. This guy's really beginning to get on my nerves. In more ways than one. The truth is there aren't that many places to look on the Inner Temple side. The policemen are all busy going over the garden with fine-tooth combs. So I decided to carry out an investigation in my own way. Godot style. I'm the same way. I like to hand down verdicts in my own way. Judge style. Maybe I should ask some questions. Phoenix style. Yeah, let's ask about your investigation. You said that you conducted an investigation of your own. Did you find anything? It looks like my investigation was about as well as yours, Wright. After all, I did miss the bloody writing on the lantern. Well, I didn't miss it, so speak for yourself, Goggles. The only odd thing I discovered was the beauty in the training hall. Beauty? Misty Faye, naturally. Clad in her stunning Japanese garb surrounded by the hue and aroma of Western tastes. Western taste? Could he find a stranger way to describe gravy? So from there, you headed for the prep room. Wait a sec. What did Godot say just now? I think I just found his proverbial weak point. There's only one thing of any importance here. Where was Godot when the murder was taking place? He must have already been at the Inner Temple when it happened. Otherwise, he couldn't have killed Elise Stoneman. I'm assuming it's the scroll? Right? I'm assuming it's a scroll because, like, how would you know what's underneath it unless you saw it before Pearls put the gravy on it after the murder, right?
Objection!
Mr. Godot, the first time he crossed Dusky Bridge and went to the Inner Temple was long before the murder took place. Why do you say that? Because he just made one fatal slip-up. The hanging scroll in the training hall. Hanging scroll? But Mr. Godot was right. That scroll shows a picture of my mother. Maya, I know you know who it is, but here's something you didn't know. By the time the bridge had been repaired 2 days after the murder, the hanging scroll in the training hall looked like this. What's that wonderfully delicious smell? How can you smell it through a photo? The morning after the crime, someone covered it with gravy. Gravy? Why gravy, Nick? Because gravy was much more than a condiment to the culprit. Well, Mr. Godot, if you really hadn't seen the hanging scroll until after the murder, you wouldn't have had any way of knowing that it was Misty Faye. Wait a minute, Nick. Yes? Take a look at the hanging scroll. Look at that top. There's a crest there. Ah, that. It's the mark of the master, correct? Exactly. So if you know the meaning of the mark, then you could guess that it was a picture of Misty Faye on there. True, but Mr. Godot described what was underneath like this. Clad in her stunning Japanese garb, surrounded by the hue and aroma of Western tastes. Yes, it's possible that he knew what the crest meant. However, he couldn't have known that she was wearing Japanese clothing. Mr. Godot, on the day of the murder, you were hiding at the Inner Temple long before the crime took place. Sorry, I felt a sneeze coming on, and it was one of those, like, tingle burn sneezes. Can I ask you just one little thing, Trey? What is it? This whole theory of yours, it all rests on a certain assumption. That I knew beforehand that a crime was going to be committed. That's right. Otherwise, there's no reason for him to sneak onto the crime scene. Of course, Mr. Godot knew about the plan. Huh? What did you say? Is it really possible that another person knew of that plan? Yes. Where's the letter? Yeah. Because Pearl said that somebody had opened it already. This crime was actually planned over a year ago. Morgan Fay authored the plan for her daughter's future, and these instructions were hidden somewhere in Fay Manor for a year. However, by the time little Pearls found these instructions, they had already been unsealed. Unsealed. Yes, the killer had read these instructions long before Pearls ever found them. That's how he knew the crime was to take place at the Inner Temple. And you still insist this crafty killer is me. You bet I do. But you just said that the instructions were hidden. That's right. Mr. Godot couldn't have known where the instructions were hidden. If he really wanted to know, he had one great chance to find out. Yes, and when was that? During a visit. A visit? Morgan Fay told her daughter, Pearl, about where the instructions were hidden. During one of her visits to the detention center. That would be the only time for someone to have learned where they were hidden. Eavesdropping on a visit at the detention center? Yes, it could be arranged if you were someone with easy access in and out of there. Like a lawyer. Like, for example, a prosecutor such as Mr. Godot. Order! Mr. Godot, you're under fire again. This murder could not have been carried out without prior knowledge. And you were the only one that could have acquired this information before the murder. Humans are afraid of the dark, and yet, at the same time, we're fascinated and bewitched by it. Maybe that's why humans drink the darkness that is coffee. Sorry for always asking, but what does that mean? It means there's a reason for everything. According to your theory, the killer in this case eavesdropped on a conversation during a jail visit when he learned of a hidden plan for a crime. Hi, Luna. Hey, Kian. After discovering the plans, he hid in the Inner Temple and waited for the crime to occur. Then he ultimately took a person's life. So you're telling me Mr. Godot was ready to murder Pearl? He was ready to stab a kid. He was like, I'm gonna do it. And he did all that just to protect this witness. That's right. If you're accusing me of this crime, I have to ask you, why would I do this? This girl's nothing but a stranger to me. I've got no reason to go through that kind of trouble to protect her. Come on, buddy. I am what you see. I am certainly not the type to rescue the damsel in distress. The killer's behavior is certainly extreme, for lack of a better word. Even considering that the killer wanted to protect this witness's life, his behavior is still a little too unnatural. However, you had a good reason, didn't you, Mr. Godot? An unshakable reason that forced you to protect this witness at all costs. I knew it. You figured it out, haven't you, Nick? Yeah, Maya. It's Mia's boyfriend. I guess you were doing your best to cover for Godot, for the same reason. Okay, Trite, I'm all ears. Let's hear it. It's very simple. Maya Fey is a lot more than just a stranger to you. What's this? There's one person who lies at the very center of this whole story. One person that ties you and Maya Fey together incontricably. Take that! There's a very good reason why Maya Fey's life is so precious to you, after all. She is Mia Fey's only sister. Mia Fey. You once worked alongside her. That was when you were a defense attorney. Wait a second here. Mr. Godot is a defense attorney? With your honor's piercing intellect, you must have figured it out by now. The real name of this man who calls himself Godot. His real name is Diego Armando. Isn't that right? The last time someone called me by that name was over 6 years ago. Diego Armando. That name rings a bell. It should, Your Honor. All this is related to a single case. A case in which a convict named Terry Falls killed himself. Mia Fey's first time in court. The tragic outcome left a deep wound in her heart. She knew that behind it all was a heartless, scheming demoness in disguise. But in the end, Mia couldn't tear off that disguise. However, there was one man who reached out to help her. Diego Armando, a senior defense attorney at the office where Mia worked. It's my fault. It's not my fault that Mr. Falls killed himself. Mia, you can't cry yet. Alright, and then he just starts bleeding all in the courtroom. The only time a lawyer can cry is when it's all over. Hey, buddy. I was moved by her. The way she put all her faith in her clients. That pure, sweet heart of hers. That's why. I could never forgive Dahlia Hawthorne. Mia and I thoroughly investigated that fake kidnapping incident. Then one fateful day, Dahlia wanted to meet with me. It had been 6 months since the trial. We met in the courthouse cafeteria. I just remembered. 6 years ago, right here in this courthouse, you were poisoned. Even I didn't see it coming. Dahlia Hawthorne slipped some poison into my coffee. Some newspapers at the time called it a murder, but very little information about the case was released to the press. But you weren't dead at all. No official reports ever actually called it a murder. I was just in a deep, deep coma. I see. My body shut down and my life became nothing but a long, deep sleep. That woman's poison did a real number on my central nervous system. I lost my sight, and all of my hair turned white due to the damage it caused. It's terrible. Apparently, it was a miracle that I ever regained consciousness. 5 years had passed since I drank that poison brew. It was me. Then one morning, my eyes flew open from the smell of a doctor's cup of coffee. 5 years? You were asleep for 5 years? And the worst possible news was waiting for me. Mia was dead. Oh. Mia Fey was dead. From the very moment I opened my eyes, I had already lost everything I thought I had. That woman I loved had been murdered. And the woman I loathed had been sentenced to death. The woman you loathed? The woman who had spiked my scalding hot coffee. Dahlia Hawthorne! Good old Mia. She didn't let me down. She got her revenge before she checked out. In the end, there wasn't anyone waiting for me when I woke up. It's so sad. For someone like me, for someone who had slept away their best days, there were only 2 reasons left to live, and it was for those 2 reasons that I decided to become a prosecutor. If I may ask, what were your 2 reasons to live? The first was you, Wright. Huh? Me? If I hadn't drank that stupid poison, Mia Fey never would have died, much less the way she did. You were the only one who was there to protect her. Okay, she could protect herself, and also, I wasn't there. Quit involving me. But you let her die. It was all your fault. It wasn't like that. I wanted to see for myself what kind of man you really were. So that's why you became a prosecutor. My other reason for living, she goes by the name of Maya Fey. Huh? You mean me? You were the only way I could make up for the sin of not saving Mia. 1 year ago, when the Curane Village incident was resolved, it was obvious that Morgan Fey was planning something. Whatever her evil plan was, I was determined to stop it. My role as a prosecutor put me in the perfect position to do something about her. That's how you overheard Pearl's visit with Morgan at the detention center. I knew that the time was drawing near. Since I knew the plan, I thought I could foil it. My goal was to outwit the plan. I thought if I could do that, I could keep that girl from being caught up in it. That makes sense. I also feel like if you discover a murder plot, you should probably tell the person there's a murder plot so they both can be ready for it. If Pearls had known that the actual purpose of the plan was to kill Maya, she never would have helped out. Finally, the day of the plan was drawing near. I contacted both of my accomplices. Iris of Hazakura Temple and Misty Fey. I especially needed the help of Iris. She was to take the fall on my backup plan in case we couldn't control Pearl Fey. But how did you contact my mother? She had been missing for almost 20 years. Officially, yes. What? What do you mean, officially? You've heard about it, haven't you? About the strong ties between the main family and the government? Now that you mention it. Bikini did say something to that effect. She said that the Master Curane had great authority. Even without her official position, Misty Fey still wielded great influence. The police had been keeping an eye on her movements all this time. That's how I was able to contact her. Again, because of my position as prosecutor. So my mother was cooperating with you? Don't ever forget, no matter how far away from you she was, she never stopped thinking about you. She was always... That's why I knew she would do anything to protect you. If you want to know how strong her resolve to protect you was, look at her staff. Her staff? The one with the sword in it? The day the plan was to be carried out arrived soon enough. We met for the first time at Hazakura Temple. That's when your mother showed me her special staff. I realized it then, just how far she was willing to go. Ready to stab somebody. She's ready to use that sword to protect you from Morgan Fey if necessary. Yes, even if it meant paying the ultimate price. Mother. That night, the night of the crime, there was just one way to stop Morgan's evil plan. You mean pearls? Don't you? We had to make sure she didn't channel Dahlia Hawthorne. Well, Pearl, what are you gonna do tonight? Well, if you like, you can come to my room. Perhaps we could read some books together. We thought we could prevent her from playing her part in Morgan's plan, but she never showed up. She was worried and followed me to the inner temple. That was the thing we were most afraid of, and that's why Misty Faye had to do the channeling herself. She channeled Dahlia Hawthorne into her own body. What do you mean? If she channeled the spirit first, then Pearls wouldn't be able to do it herself. As Master of Curain, Misty Faye's power was supreme, so that's how it went down. She channeled Dahlia Hawthorne so that Pearl Faye wouldn't be able to. What? Is this true? My role in the plan was to make sure no one was gonna hurt Maya Faye. That's why I hid myself at the inner temple, just in case you need to be saved from Dahlia Hawthorne. Godot. Anyway, that's all I'm going to admit to. Trey? Huh? There's no doubt about it. You're a great defense attorney, but you're gonna have to do the rest yourself. The background leading up to this incident has been laid bare. There's just one question remaining, Mr. Wright. Who killed the victim? There are only two possible suspects right now. Maya Faye, and I'm sad to say, you, Mr. Godot. Well, Trey, if you're the real deal, then finish this thing once and for all. Show us beyond a shadow of doubt that you can finish this on your own. Please don't, Nick. Maya. I heard the whole thing from my sister in the medical office. That's why I have to protect Mr. Godot. I can't do it. I can't testify against him. After all, he's the man who put his life on the line to protect Mia. And me, too. Maya, I know that. But even so, it doesn't absolve him of his crime. Please, Maya, testify. Testify? Sorry. Miss Faye, your testimony, please. This is the final testimony. Don't bother trying to hide anything. Oh. Well, hello. Thank you for the raid. I want to hear the truth from your own lips. I should let you know we're like near the end. Oh, what'd you play? Nice, nice, nice. Zenless Zone Zero. What's that about? That sounds cool as hell. I'm sure you're right. I'm ready now, Nick. All right, young lady. Tell us about the moments before you lost consciousness. What exactly happened at the time of the murder? Well, thank you for the raid. Feel free to skedaddle, you know, eat, drink, go take care of whatever after stream stuff you need to. We're nearing the end of this game, so. Just before it happened, I think I saw some red lights, 3 of them. I thought I asked for help, but just then I was splattered with blood. She wasn't dead though, and she struck back at the enemy behind her. Suddenly the red lights went out and the whole area was dark. Just at that moment, there was a horrible scream. Right after that, Dahlia collapsed and I lost consciousness. Okay. I thought you said you didn't remember seeing them. I'm sorry. I thought I saw them. But then they disappeared all of a sudden.
Now you will be with us forever.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for the follow. Who was it that stabbed Misty Faye? Looks like you still can't prove it. Maya's telling the truth this time, I know it. The rest is up to me. Well then, Mr. Wright, proceed with your final cross-examination of the witness. Ah, the scream. It's like, who screamed? Was it Dahlia who screamed? Was it the attacker who screamed? Yeah. Hold it! What do you mean by just at that moment? May your tentacles always find the truth. That's great. Do you mean the moment when the red lights went out? Yes, that's right. The scream that you heard then, was it Dahlia Hawthorne? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure it was a man's voice. that scream came from the killer. That's gotta be it. I think Dahlia Hawthorne must have taken the blade and attacked the killer with it. And then the killer let out a scream of pain. After that, the killer stole the blade back and delivered the final blow. Well, Mr. Wright, this seems to make sense to me. Sounds like a reasonable deduction, but I still kind of wonder. There is, because we have the dagger with blood on it. Sorry to say this, but that interpretation would create an enormous contradiction. Oh, yes, hi, sorry. No worries, no worries. Appreciate the follow. Well, you know how it be. Try to keep our little community safe, right? Remember the testimony she just gave? Before the killer let out a scream, Maya said she had already been splattered by the victim's blood. In other words, the blade and the staff had already been plunged into the victim. Is that right? She couldn't have been struck back with a sword that was already stuck in her body. The weapon that caused the killer to let out a scream must have been something other than the staff. The dagger! If you're so sure about that, then don't keep us waiting any longer, Trey. There's only one thing I can think of that could have been used as the weapon here. If Dahlia Hawthorne had already been stabbed in the back by the staff, what could she have used to strike back at the killer? Dagger. Take that! Naturally, the dagger the killer brought to the scene of the crime. Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. This dagger was found at the crime scene, stuck into a pine tree. Yes, the detective found that this morning and brought it to me. Dahlia Hawthorne struck back at the killer with this, and she managed to wound him as well. Just because he let out a scream doesn't mean that he was wounded. For all we know, the blood on the dagger could have been from the victim. Have you forgotten that the blood has already been tested? Since we learned it wasn't the victim's blood, it must be the killer's blood. The killer must have a wound somewhere on his body. So you're saying the blood on this dagger belongs to the killer. Exactly. A DNA analysis of the blood would prove it beyond a shadow of a doubt. And yes, Mr. Godot, it would prove that it's your blood. Nice theory, Trey. Order in the court. Is this the end? Have I done it? Even he won't be able to change the results of a scientific test. Let me ask you something, Trey. Let's just say that it turned out that I was the killer. Do you really think I would be stupid enough to leave evidence like that? What? Just think for a second. This dagger was found this morning by a detective and brought to me. There was already blood on it, correct? But even so, I was the one who brought this dagger here to the courtroom. Yes? What does that prove? Well, if I really were the killer, I could have washed the blade off and then planted another person's blood on it. It can't be. In any case, there's one thing I can guarantee, Trey. That blood, it doesn't belong to me. Not a chance. In any event, it seems to be established that the killer was wounded. Alright then, witness, continue your testimony. Wait a minute. What's the problem? I know I probably shouldn't say this, but there's a big contradiction in Nick's explanation. Maya! This dagger. You said that it wounded the killer? That's right. But if Mr. Godot had really been cut with the dagger, his clothes would be bloody or have a rip in them, right? Maya, it's been a couple days. Maya? Maybe he just changed his clothes? That solved the contradiction pretty easily. What are you talking about? It's not that simple at all. Remember back to the day of the murder? Everyone that was on the inner temple side got trapped there. Oh, that's right. And once the bridge was fixed and the police headed for the inner temple, Mr. Godot was already there waiting for them. He never had a chance to change his clothes. Alright, good point, good point. Order in the court. What the witness says is... Oh, God. Well, maybe he brought a change of clothes with him. But no one could have predicted the lightning strike that shut down the bridge. Why would anyone have brought a change of clothes? He was there to stop a murder. You're probably gonna get a little bloody. the judge take smart pills during the last recess? Well then, maybe the killer took off his clothes before he committed the murder. That way he wouldn't get any blood on them. That's impossible, Trite. You know how cold it gets up there late at night? After a few minutes with no clothes on, you'd be frozen solid. So, that's all you've got. I knew you weren't tough enough to finish this. Right now, if Mia Fey were here, she would have closed the book on this case already. If Mia Fey were here. So come on, Trite. Can you do it or not? Mia, I need you to come back. Well, she is, but she also did just have a very traumatic experience. So, like, she's on his side, but she's also trying to protect Godot. How about it, Mr. Wright? You've accused Mr. Godot of being the killer. But can you prove it? Have you got even one piece of evidence? The question isn't whether I can prove it or not. The fact is I have to prove it. That's the only choice I have. I was taught that it's one of the rules of being a lawyer. I can prove it. I'm going to bring your magnificent vengeance to fruition just as you want it. That's good. A fighter till the bitter end, right? Since there's just one piece of evidence that can prove your point, why don't we go for the ultimate penalty? Oh, save. So you're telling me if I get this wrong, game over? Oh, God. Are you trying to pressure me, Mr. Godot? Because it doesn't matter to me. I got the one piece of evidence I need. Give me a break. You've got nothing, Trite. So what do I do at a time like this? It's simple. I've got to think outside the box and approach this from a different angle. Alright then, Mr. Wright, let's hear what you've got. There's one thing I've demonstrated in the previous cross-examination. The killer was wounded. That was proven by the blood on the dagger. But we decided it's impossible for him to have hidden such a wound. If he had been cut by a dagger, there should have been a bloodstain on his clothing. There's one place the killer could have hidden his wound. What did you say? Hidden? What is it, his eyes? He's got the one piece. Luffy, get him! This is it, my last stand. I need to think about this from a different angle. Right? Time for sudden death. I don't need to think about why there were no bloodstains on his clothing. I need to show how he hid the wound. It's the end of the line. The final stop, Trite. Let's hear what you've got. Where is this location where you say the killer hid his wound? Right? I mean, we saved, so if I mess up... Take that! I don't know what you're talking about. And frankly, I don't need to know. What I do know is that you'll never be half the lawyer she was. Isn't that right, Trite? You see her there for a second? What was that just now? Mia? It can't be. You're living on. Through him? Even as we speak, you're still hiding the wound. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. It's beneath your mask! During the fight, the red lights given off by the killer suddenly disappeared. Seconds later, the killer let out a scream. That's right, your mask went flying off your mask. Off your face. Mr. Godot, would you mind removing your mask? If you have a dagger wound under there somewhere, then I'd say this whole case is solved. Is he gonna take it off? Oh, okay, explosion. That works too. Oh God, so bright. We good? Oh, you good? Your mask exploded for a second. Just now, I saw her spirit in you. I never liked you. 6 years ago, you helped the woman who put me to sleep by hiding her bottle of poison. And then, while I was sleeping, you let Mia die. Okay, let is a strong word here. Somebody broke into her office and murdered her with a clock. But you didn't care. You just kept living your pathetic, happy-go-lucky life. You even had the nerve to follow in her footsteps as a lawyer. Well, I was a lawyer before she died, so... I could never forgive you. That's what I thought. Mr. Godot. But I was wrong about you. I knew it from the very beginning. The truth is, the only person I could never find it in my heart to forgive is yourself. Is it yourself? It was me. Oh, my friend. He just puts that hand down and it's just like magic coffee. And his whole thing is like he has like 17 cups of coffee during a trial. He loves coffee. He loves coffee. You? Yourself? I was the one that failed to protect Mia. Me and no one else. I tried to avert my eyes from the truth, to escape from the harshness of reality. I just couldn't face Mia's death head on, so I ran. I hid behind a mask. I threw away my true name. I couldn't even deal with being a defense attorney anymore, so I quit. But you saved Maya. Yeah, that was my plan. Up until just now, anyway. What do you mean? Are you listening, Maya? If I had really wanted to save you, then there's one person that I should have gone and talked to right away. Pearl. Who would that be? Or Maya, or you, or Phoenix. There's a lot of people. You're talking about Nick? But I didn't do it. I tried to get the help of Iris and your mother, but I closed my eyes to the most important man involved. Do you know why? The real reason? No? Why? I suppose I wasn't really interested in saving you at all. Huh? I think I was just trying to salvage what's left of my own broken soul. I was trying to make up for the fact that I couldn't save Mia. Nothing more. That's why I let you walk right in a situation that I knew was dangerous. Forgive me. You're wrong. You put your life on the line to save Maya. He's like, nah. Was it really for Maya's sake? Even I'm not really sure. What do you mean by that? That night, in the darkness of the garden, when I saw her silhouette. A part of me must have known the truth. The truth that it wasn't really Dahlia Hawthorne standing there in front of me. Oh. It could have been Misty Faye. Or even that little girl. But I still picked up the blade. It was like I was dreaming. Whoops. I'm not sure exactly what was going on in my mind at that point. Was I really motivated by the pure desire to protect Maya Faye? Or was it something else? Something darker? Was it my hatred for a woman who had stolen everything from me 6 years earlier? Could it have been simply a desire for revenge? And now, I don't know anything anymore. I did learn something today, however. I finally realized that I was the arrogant one. I was just chasing an illusion, a fantasy. A stupid fantasy of defeating you in the courtroom. You were the one who made me realize my folly. You never ran away from Mia's death. Instead, you picked up where she left off. As a true defender of the people. In that one moment, I understood everything. What is he just gonna be like, yeah, I did it. Mr. Godot. You've had so much coffee on this trial. I think you already know this, but if you don't, my name is Diego Armando. Mr. Armando, I believe in you. I know you were trying to save me. Oh! Thanks. Did your wound reopen or are you crying? What's happening? Your wound, it's bleeding. Huh? Did you forget already? In my world, the color red doesn't exist. These must be my tears. No, I'm pretty sure you're bleeding. God, could you imagine being the stenographer for this trial and being like, oh my goodness, what are they saying right now? This is some wild stuff. Tears? Ever since I woke up from my coma, I think I've been waiting for this very moment. Mr. Armando, you do well to remember this, Maya. The only time a lawyer can cry is when it's all over. Almost. Oh, just the one tier side? This time, it really is all over, isn't it? Defendant? Yes, Your Honor? Although you weren't directly involved in the murder, tampering with the body and the crime scene is a serious offense in itself. I understand, Your Honor. Mr. Armando explained that to me very carefully. I knew the risk and I willingly cooperated anyway. Very well. She must be very strong. She carried a grown woman, no problem. Before I hand out my verdict, is there anything you'd like to say? Like, there were no drag marks in the snow. Like, she carried Misty and was like, all right, I'm gonna put you here, and I'm gonna take a sword and Well, there is one thing. I'd like to say something to Mr. Wright. Oh? I want to apologize to you. Apologize to me? For what? For the case 5 years ago, of course. Oh, was she trying to kill me? I just remembered. Weren't you poisoned by your own lover? Not exactly, but yeah, something like that. Even now, 5 years later, I can hardly believe it. She was going to do it. She was planning to kill me. It's not all that surprising. The two of you hardly knew each other. Huh? What do you mean? You and my sister, you only met twice. Oh my god, did you go on dates with me? We only met twice? The first time you met was on that fateful day. The day she poisoned Mr. Armando in the cafeteria in this very courthouse. The next time you met was her... The next time you met her was 8 months later? You met her again on the day that she stole your cold medicine. And Doug Swallow was killed. No way. It can't be true. I mean, during our whole relationship, we were... For those 8 months, the woman that you thought was Dahlia Hawthorne wasn't actually my sister. It wasn't Dahlia? No, it was... Phoenix, catch up, it was her! I hope one day you can forgive me, Feeny. Well, because she's a twin, right? Oh my god, okay. That's right. I lied to you for 8 months. She's like, why? Why would you do such a thing? Ever since she gave you the bottle that day, my sister was trying to get it back as soon as she possibly could. Because of the police investigation and their surveillance, she couldn't move about freely. So that's why you? My sister, from the beginning, she was prepared for the worst. Prepared for the worst? She thought that you might somehow discover the truth. That's why she was always ready to deal with you at a moment's notice. You mean she was ready to kill me, don't you? She already had so much to answer for. I didn't want any more sins on her soul. I begged her not to do it, and she agreed to give me a chance. And that's why you came to me. You came to get the bottle pendant back for me in her place. But I couldn't get you to give it back. I failed at something even as simple as that. 8 months passed and I still couldn't get it back from you. Finally, my sister couldn't wait any longer. And she tried to murder you. She didn't consult me about her plans for you that day. It was the first time that had ever happened. That was a bit strange, wasn't it? Up until that day, you two were partners in crime, and she would confer with you. I think. She must have noticed. Oh my god. Do not do a love confession in the middle of court where you are technically involved in killing somebody. Or definitely an accomplice, at least. No sweat. My feelings for you. Could this not have been done after the trial? If I had found out she was planning to kill you, I would have done whatever was necessary to stop her. Okay, they're both murderers. Got it. Even if it meant her life. Or mine. Iris. After spending those 8 months by your side, my feelings towards you, they changed. Okay. I have something to say to you, too. Oh, yes? You really are the person I always thought you were. Even after Dahlia Hawthorne was found guilty, I still believed in you. Oh my god. Thank you. Well, that's nice. So, we had a really nice relationship then. How many cups of darkness have I drank over the years? Even I don't know. I'll tell you though. Right now, this one here is the greatest cup I think I've ever had. Don't you think so? Phoenix Wright. He said my name right. Oh, he's drinking a coffee too? Yeah, I think you're right. The purpose of this trial was to rule on the murder of the victim Elise Donan. At some point, I expect you will be tried for your role as an accomplice in this case. I understand, Your Honor. Very well. On the charge of murder, I hereby find the defendant not guilty. Court is now adjourned. Good job, team. February. So I guess it's all over. The way everything ended. Was justice really served? The man who risked his life to save Maya's being sent to prison by my own hand? Of course, justice was served. Mia! I'm proud of you, Phoenix. Your defense was truly brilliant. But I couldn't save Mr. Armando, the man who cared so deeply for you. You're wrong, Phoenix. You did save Diego. You saved him in the only way possible. By sending him to jail? You mean, with that verdict? I think one day you'll understand too. Phoenix, I want you to remember one thing. You were as good out there today as any defense attorney could ever hope to be. There's nothing more you can learn from me. Mia, you've accomplished something I wasn't able to. I owe you a great deal. Thank you. Mia, I'm sure we'll meet again someday, Phoenix. I've handled lots of cases and seen a lot of things. And along this journey, I found myself asking just one question. What does it really mean to defend someone? I suppose today's case produced one possible answer. What's up, Maya? Nick. Hey, Maya. I guess it's just like my sis said. Mia? What did she say? That night when I channeled Mia to get her advice on what to do, this is what she wrote back in my notebook. Don't worry. Phoenix will save everyone in the end. But, come on, cut it out with that gloomy face. Can't you see? Me, sis, and I'm sure Iris too. We owe you for everything you have done for us, Nick. Maya. How can you be so bright and chipper after all that's happened? You were brutally attacked. We even saw your mother murdered. Oh, you looked again. Francesca. Still as softy as always, Phoenix Wright. Excellent work, Wright. Oh, thanks, Miles. Mr. Edgeworth, when did you get back? Oh, that's right. I guess no one filled her in on that. Edgeworth and Francesca have actually been helping me. Helping you? If these two hadn't been here on the first day of the trial, the defense wouldn't have gone anywhere. Wow. Well, where were you, Nick? I heard he fell into a river and caught a nasty cold which forced him to sleep all day. Yes, he laid in bed shivering from his fever with Iris's hood pulled over his head. Oh, ouch. Oh, but he probably is. Anyway, thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. And you too, Francesca. God, what was it? I think it was the second game where we had to defend him from murdering somebody. He was always like, I can't tell you. And we're just like, you're being accused of murder. Who did you shoot? And he's like, we're like, Miles. So yes, I would say he's a little edgy. I don't suppose. Oh God, Laurie's, what are you doing here? There's room for me in this group hug, is there? Oh, Larry. What's with the, longer than usual face? I realized something when I was reborn. I realized that Larry was never any of use to anyone, not even once. That's not true, right, Nick? What? You're asking me? Well, Nick, is it true? I've got a place in this world, right? Yeah, of course. I knew it. Everyone would be better off if I were gone for good. No. Oh yeah? Those portraits you painted, they were really good? Isn't that right, Edgeworth? What? Me? Why are you making that face, huh, Edgy? Oh, well, yes, indeed. I certainly can't say they lack resemblance. Do you really mean it? What about you, Franzi? Did I draw you well, too? My beauty can't possibly be captured by a mere crayon. Nevertheless, I recognize the effort you put into it, and that's worth something. So then you'll do it, like you promised? You're gonna model for my next picture book, Francie's Whippity Whip Trip? Don't get carried away. God damn, Larry. Well, how about that? I guess painting portraits is the only thing I'm good at. The painting of Pearl was pretty darn good too, if you ask me. Huh? Now that you mention it, I haven't seen her around. Pearls? Where could she have gone? She was recently getting possessed, so she's probably... Normally she would have made a beeline for Maya. Oh, I'll go look for her. She's probably tired from channeling. Be right back. Hey, Pearly. Right. You seem to be uncharacteristically puzzled. I suspect you're wondering how Maya can be so cheerful despite all that has happened. Yeah. To be honest, I can't understand it either. Francesca. That's right. She lost her father fairly recently as well. Like, what, a year ago? 2 years ago? I think I understand how she feels. Maya is a much wiser person than she appears, and I think she realizes something. Now is exactly the time when she needs to be as strong as she can be. As she can. What do you mean by now is exactly the time? Maya wasn't the only one that was badly wounded by this incident. In fact, there was someone that was hurt far more deeply than she. I believe it's for that person that Maya's trying her best not to cry. Someone who was hurt more deeply than Maya. Edgeworth, I think I'm starting to understand too. Then tell me, Phoenix Wright. Who was Maya Fey being strong for? I'm assuming Pearl. Because if she was in the courtroom watching this trial, I think she put it together that her mom planned her cousin's murder. And she's probably like, oh my god, I was a part of it. Take that! Pearl Fey. The poor kid. After all, the reason that she worked so hard to follow the instructions was because she loved and believed in her mother, Morgan. It's for the good of the Fae clan. I'm sure she believed in every last word. She thought she was doing it for Maya. That's why she was so happy. Murder! It shows how truly devoted she is to Maya. I mean, she's a kid. she's an orphan child. Oh, and I guess Maya's an orphan now too, because parent dead. But it's a cruel irony that it was her exuberance that led to this tragedy. Maya Fey's mother was killed, and Maya herself was put into the deepest peril imaginable. And that's exactly why Maya's putting on a brave face. She's doing it for Pearl's sake, until she can see her smile again. Oh, what's up, Gumshoe? Oh, hey, so this is where you all were. Wow, looks like we've got quite the bunch here. Ow! What was that for, sir? Sorry about that, Scruffy. My whip just seems to have a mind of its own. Oh. Good morning, Russell. You good? Did your sneeze wake you up? Sorry, my cat just went, he's like looking around dazed. What's up, Detective Gumshoe? Oh, you know, this and that. Anyway, congrats on your win. All right, bye. Thank you for stopping by. Oh, look at that. Immediately passes back out again. What a great kitty. My salary just sort of kind of gone down by a teeny weeny bit, but it's all right. I made reservations at a first-class French restaurant tonight. Is it très bien? Pretty good work, Scruffy. That whip was your reward. Detective Gumshoe? You said a first-class French restaurant. You don't mean très bien. Where else? I knew it. We're doomed. Come on, let's go, everyone. Can't keep Maggie waiting, pal. Hey, you, crybaby, you're invited too. Oh, forget about me. Pearl and I will be at the loser's shack eating potatoes. You know, Maya's taken an awfully long time to get back. She's still out looking for pearls. Did you find her? Oh, Maya, what's wrong? Nick, what do I do? Pearly, I can't find her anywhere. What? I'll bet she just went back home, that's all. I thought so too, so I called the village, but no one has heard from her. This has never happened before. As I figured, she has been badly hurt by this incident. She feels responsible for the tragedy that has befallen you, Maya. But none of this was her fault. What should I do? Detective Gumshoe. Yeah, what is it, pal? Could you guys go on ahead? But what about you? Maya and I we'll join you guys once we find pearls. Well, don't worry about us, Detective Gumshoe. We may be a little late, but we'll definitely be there. We have a lot of celebrating to do tonight, and I wouldn't miss it for the world. Yeah, but you're the... Wow. Very well, Phoenix, right? We'll go on ahead. Don't keep us waiting, right? Look at that little smile. Look at that little smile. Also, if there is a child missing, wouldn't I want all of my friends to help me find her? We won't. But where should we look? Where could Pearly have gone? Let's go, Maya. There's only one place I can think of that Pearls might have gone to. Is it the office? Is it the office? Oh? Why are we back here? Why are we back here? Hazakura Temple? For Pearls, I bet this is a very important place. After all, it's where this whole incident started. What's this? You're all back again so soon? Sister Bikini. I thought we'd be eating mashed potatoes alone tonight. So she's here? Pearly's here? She's in the training hall. Why don't you hurry along and go see her? Okay. Is she training her spirit, her powers? Pearly's not here. Maya, the hanging scroll. Oh, it got fixed. Someone cleaned it off. It's got to be Pearls. Or maybe Bikini. Mystic Maya. Pearly! Why did you just leave like that? Mystic Maya. Mystic Maya! I swore that I would never trouble the two of you ever again. Because it's all my fault that Mystic Maya's mother. That's why you came here? It's the least I could do, to pray for your happiness. You don't have to do that, Pearly. It wasn't your fault. You didn't do anything wrong. Of course, I'm sad that my mother is gone, but how do I say this? I'm still happy. You don't have to lie just to make me feel better. No, really. It's true. The only reason I'm still here at all is thanks to everyone who was there for me. My sis, my mother, Mr. Armando, Nick, and you. If even one of you weren't there, I'm sure I wouldn't still be alive right now. She's not even gonna say Iris. Iris helped too. Godot helped too. That's why I have to be strong. For all the people that were there for me when I needed them. That's all I can really do. Mystic Maya. I'm impressed. You truly are the daughter of Mystic Misty. I feel like I'm saying Mystic so much. Sister Bikini. Your mother, Mystic Misty, was a strong woman indeed. I want to tell you what she said to me that night. After dishonoring the good name of Kurain, I don't have the right to face my daughter. But still, Maya's always in my thoughts. It's true. She'll always be with me until the day I die. What, and then she stopped being with you? No, I'm sorry, that's some dark humor. Ah, darkness. Snuck in there. Your spirit was with her, that's why your mother was so strong. Even at the end, I'm sure she had no regrets. She'll always be with me until the day I die, huh? There's a rule or something all masters are to follow, isn't there? To never take the charm off until the day you die. That's the master's talisman. The thing that Misty kept by her heart and would never take off. It wasn't the container that was important. Rather, it was the contents. Is it their photo? I love that I'm just opening, like, a sacred talisman. Just like, a photo. Mother. It's only natural for living creatures to fight to protect their own lives. But what makes us humans is that we fight for others. But who do you fight for? How hard must you fight? That's the true measure of what human life is worth. We defense attorneys are warriors who are constantly challenged by that question. Oh, wait, how many times has this pot been broken? Oh my god. It wasn't even Pearl who broke it the first time, it was them. Oh, that's so sweet. Even when the battle is over and the bonds that connect us are severed, we always return, time and time again. Mia, Maya, Pearls, Mr. Armando, and Maya's mother, too. I learned that from all of them. That's great. Well, shall we get going? Everyone's waiting. This is a day to remember, a day when a lot of things were finally put to rest. I think we should celebrate what we've overcome today. But I still can't... Oh, go on, sweetie. You can come back for training anytime. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna make a brand new start too. Sister Bikini, I'll be back for more training, I promise. I know, and I won't go easy on you just because you're the future master. I'll make sure to prepare reservations for 3 for when you come back. Alright, we're gonna have a great feast today, Pearly. You know why? Because training is a battle of endurance. Okay, Mystic Maya. I'll eat lots and lots of food tonight. You know, there's one thing I don't get, and probably don't want to, but... What is it, Nick? Reservations for training is fine and all. But why for 3? Come on, what do you think? You're one of us, Nick. Next time you can train right alongside us. Huh? I'll be waiting for you. Sister Bikini will take special care of you. Huh? Huh? It'll be great, Nick. We're gonna do the special course naturally. Huh? 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 That's a great idea. After all, Mr. Nick, you'd do anything for Mystic Maya, wouldn't you? Even walk on hot coals, right? We'll have a nice big meal before we come next time, right, Nick? You know, I was wondering if I can say just one little thing. Sure, of course you can. Oh, I love this part. I can't wait to hear it. I'm getting goosebumps too. Well then, here goes nothing.
Objection!
Everyone's like, what is it? Freaking just, objection! I really have to work extra hard now. Master of Curain and the office manager of Wright & Co. manage, oh, that's not me. And I have to be a good big sister to Pearly and Nick too. Well, as long as I'm not locked up or captured or something like that. This is like what everyone's up to, what everyone's doing, but we did it, we beat it. Oh, good morning, Russell. Sorry, I laughed a little loud. So it's true, Mr. Nick really is Mystic Maya's knight in shining armor. He went through with the special course all the way to the end. Actually, I heard there's a legendary extra special ultra course here too. I think I'll surprise the 2 of them by making them a secret reservation. Pearls, no. Maggie brought me a brand new coat as a present, pal. I feel 10 years younger. I'll never take it off. Oh, looks nice. Yes, but somehow you just don't seem the same. I guess a dirty, shabby old overcoat is just more detective-like, sir. Don't worry about it. In the name of love, a man will soil himself silly. Are they dating? Maybe they're dating. Mr. Wright, I am once again in your debt. Thanks to you, the Treasures of Curain exhibit was a great success. I even got to see Miss Von Karma, who I hadn't seen for almost a year. Yay! She taught me how to use a whip and said that I must show you what I've learned. No, that's good. It's fine. Good morning, Russell. Big stretch. Oh, hi. You going back to sleep, or you just changing position? Oh, you getting out? Desi and I started a company called Mass to Mass Consulting. We're dedicated to stopping the evil plans of all the criminals in the city. Our motto is, cut it out, please. Pretty cute, huh? Well, we also sell plans to criminals as a kind of side business. I wonder if that's okay. Sometimes I think maybe we're the worst criminals. I mean, that's a way to go about it, I guess. Russell, do you want me to help you? Come here. Come here. I wanted to show my appreciation to Mr. Wright for exterminating Don Tigre. So I lent him and a tea set. A special thick tea. One I mixed with my own 2 hands. I bet he's drinking it now. Don't drink the tea. When, through compromise... Russell, come here. Where you going, old man? Oh, I guess he's gonna go get some water and food. I'm just old and in the way. A wrinkly, grumpy, clown-nosed waste of flesh. At least that's what I thought. But my grandkids had a birthday party for me the other day. Talk about embarrassing. 69 years old and I cried like a baby with a dirty diaper. Oh. party. As usual, we have an abundance of work to do. We've hired a new programmer to replace Glenn L. I do hope everyone will get along. His name is Adam Mata. Oh, Adam back. Okay. As soon as I heard his name, I knew our brain circuits would align perfectly. Clever, 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 clever. My. More reporters. Since the murder, we've made so much money I hardly know what to do. I think the magazines like us because I provide such a nice visual, especially in spring. I can hardly wait for Iris to come back. It's an interesting laugh, I'll give you that. There she is. You've turned into such a respectable man, Feeny. It was so sweet of you and everyone else to come and visit me here the other day. Of course, I was happy that you constantly had your eyes on me. I felt kind of bad when the little one slapped you so hard you got a nosebleed. Yep, that sounds like Pearl.
Objection!
Ben grown jet. It's a great objection. 10 out of 10.
Objection!
Beautiful, wonderful objection. Love it.
Objection!
God, I wonder how much they got paid. They're like, we just need you to say this one line perfectly.
Objection!
That's how we found out what happened to his hair. Hey, it's Old Bag! What's this? I'm back from a long and tiring vacation and no one is here to greet me? I guess while I was gone, my little whippersnapper buddy quit and now I've got no one. What kind of lonely, crazy security room is this supposed to be anyway? What with all the flashing lights and switches, I feel like some sort of space alien. And now that I'm going to do all this with all this macadamia nuts, if I bring them over to Edgy... Oh, she's okay. She's just talking fast. Cool, treat me like... Hi, Dad's still my favorite thing. I think the rat-a-tat-tat and freaking, Prespied. I finally found something I love to do. Francie's whippity-whip trip is gonna turn the art world on its head. I should have realized it sooner. Self-centered, lazy, antisocial. I'm an artist. A really good portrait artist. I'm not a loser after all. That's one way to look at it. That's, yeah. Look at him. Aww. Our weird little happy family. I was gonna say all the dead people, but Godot's not dead. Unless he died after the trial. No, he's probably in jail. I don't know, maybe he bled out. Is that it? Is that everything? Oh, yeah, please let me save. And there we go! That is the end of Ace Attorney Trilogy, Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney Trilogy. We did it. All 3 games, all the cases. And now I get to take a lovely break for Thursday because that was so much talking. I will say visual novels are great, but my goodness, I think I really do prefer the ones that have voice lines. It's a lot to say. Thank you everyone for stopping by. Hope you enjoyed the stream. And until then, I'll see you next time. Suzu is Mousy.